Imagine the year is 1850. Michigan, a young state, is brimming with activity, optimism, and tension. As a new frontier, it was a beacon of opportunity, drawing settlers from far and wide. Amidst this dynamism, a shadow loomed large: the contentious issue of slavery. Michigan, a free state, found itself at the center of a growing national divide. The Underground Railroad, a clandestine network assisting escaped slaves, operated actively within its borders. This not only intensified the state's anti-slavery sentiments but also fueled political tensions. Meanwhile, the state's burgeoning economy and increasing population were making it a significant player in national politics. The political landscape of Michigan was changing too, with the newly formed Republican Party gaining ground largely on an anti-slavery platform. As the decade came to a close, Michigan, like the rest of the nation, was on the brink of a conflict that would shape its destiny. The year is now 1861, and the Civil War has erupted. The country is divided, and Michigan, far from the battlefields, is not exempt from the conflict. It's time for the Wolverine State to step up, and step up it does. Michigan responds to President Lincoln's call for troops with an outpouring of support. Thousands of Michigan men enlist from all walks of life. They pack their bags and kiss their loved ones goodbye, not knowing if they will return. They form regiments that will march into history, fighting in distant battles that will shape the future of the nation. But it's not just the soldiers who are part of this war. Back home, Michigan's citizens rally to support the Union cause. They fundraise, they sew uniforms, they send food and medical supplies. Michigan's industries, too, pivot to war production, generating a boom in the state's economy. And yet, despite the fervor, the battles of the Civil War never reach Michigan's soil. There's an eerie quietness across the state's forests and lakes, a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding elsewhere. But the war isn't distant. Every letter from the front lines, every list of casualties, brings the reality of war home. The Civil War years are a time of change, of sacrifice, and of uncertainty for Michigan. The state's landscape remains untouched by the ravages of war, but its people are deeply affected. As the war raged on, the people of Michigan were left to wonder what the future held. The year is now 1865, and the Civil War has ended. Michigan, scarred yet resilient, welcomed home her soldiers with open arms. These brave men, having witnessed the horrors of war, returned with stories etched into their souls, forever changing the fabric of their home state. The end of the war marked the dawn of a new era in Michigan. The state's economy, once heavily reliant on the lumber and mining industries, began to diversify. Factories sprung up, the railroads expanded, and Michigan steadily transformed into an industrial powerhouse. But it wasn't just the economy that was changing. The political landscape of Michigan was also evolving. The war had ignited a fervor for change, with the state's citizens more politically engaged than ever before. The Republican Party, which had led the charge against slavery, gained prominence, shaping the state's politics for years to come. Yet, even as Michigan moved forward, the scars of the past remained. The state, like the rest of the nation, faced the challenging task of healing the wounds of a divided nation. It was a time of reconciliation as people from all walks of life worked together to rebuild their communities and their state. In the years following the Civil War, Michigan, like the rest of the nation, embarked on a journey of reconciliation and growth. It was a journey marked by both hardship and triumph, a testament to the resilience and spirit of its people.